Who says scary stories aren't for kids? Well, Todd and Terry Parker would, I'm sure, if only they could. Todd and Terry were close, probably closer than either of them wanted to be most of the time. They were known as the Parker Boys around the small West Texas town of Timberlane, population 1,300. You see, Todd and Terry were close because they were twins. Not identical twins, but born only 2 minutes apart and almost always together over the next 8 years. The two developed a special bond. I guess that's the way it is with twins. Always someone there to lend a helping hand when needed. A helping hand is what Terry often lent Todd. Todd, equal in size to his brother, both tall and thin for their age, with short dark hair and blue eyes, was what parents might refer to as the wild child, the difficult one, or the one with a mind of his own. Often fearless in his approach towards life, Todd wouldn't think twice about meeting up with new kids to play at the park, barking out rules to a game, or running across the roof of a house and jumping into the bushes below. Don't get me wrong, Todd was also very sweet and especially loved to cuddle. He enjoyed giving hugs and kisses to his mom, dad, and brother on the famous kissy spot, their forehead. Thomas and Linda Parker, married now for 10 years, seemed to enjoy the barrage of kisses much more than Terry did. Over the years, Terry put up with a fair amount of hits and kicks thrown his way, but Terry was a special kid with a real heart of gold and would fight back with Todd only when he had to, as all twins learned to do, I guess. You could say Terry was genuinely kind-hearted, taking pleasure in helping anyone he could, even his often annoying brother. The beginning of that summer of 2016 was hot, like most West Texas summers, but something else came in with the heat that year, and that something found its way into the home of the Parker boys. "Come on, Terry, come to the bathroom with me," Todd said without a bit of shame in his voice. "Just go yourself this time," Terry replied, acting distracted. "Just come on." Todd was already slowly heading down the hall, but paused and waited for Terry before picking up his pace again. And like he always did, Terry went with Todd into the bathroom and waited while Todd peed. Neither Thomas nor Linda could remember exactly when it started, but both thought it was sometime around the end of school and the start of that summer. At that time, Todd seemed to have developed a general fear and became easily startled. He then began refusing to go into other rooms alone, light or dark, including the bathroom. When asked why, Todd simply replied, "I'm too scared." Scared of what? Todd said he wasn't sure. At first, Linda told Todd she would absolutely not go into the bathroom with him because he was scared. But Todd's, "Come on, Mom, it's your little boy," look always seemed to convince her otherwise, at least for a while. Thomas, having to hold up that West Texas fatherly image, never budged an inch and told Todd to quit being a scaredy cat, and "There's nothing in them rooms, son," as he sat in his lazy boy recliner, drinking his Lone Star beer and watching a hunting or fishing show after a hard day's work at the ranch. In a few short weeks, Linda joined her husband after burning a pie while standing in the hall waiting for Todd to finish pooping, with the door open, of course. By the middle of that summer, Todd had only one person to count on. Terry was reluctant at first, or so it seemed, but soon he started venturing into the bathroom or bedroom or any room with Todd with little hesitation, even though Terry often didn't receive as much as a thank you for his efforts. So this was the routine for the Parker boys that hot, steamy summer of 2016. "Why do you keep going with him?" Thomas asked Terry one day. Terry just turned to his father, shrugged his shoulders, and smiled. Thomas felt a shiver slowly crawl up his spine and the hair on the back of his neck rise to attention when feeling that smile. Something in Thomas's mind also flashed red, a warning of danger, he was sure, but what danger? The feeling quickly passed as Terry ran out to the backyard to play football with Todd. Like all summers, this one seemed to end before it even had a chance to begin. Todd and Terry would be returning to school the following day and entering the third grade with a new teacher, Miss Trevino. There was only one third grade class at Grant Elementary in Timberlane, Texas, so the boys would be together once again. "Do you think Miss Trevino will be nice?" Todd asked while getting into bed. Terry, normally asleep as soon as his head hit the pillow, was wide-eyed with excitement. "Probably. Ronnie Dunlap's brother had her last year and said she doesn't give out much homework." "Yes!" Todd squealed. Terry felt his excitement turn into a tingle and a warmth deep inside his stomach, soon making its way up to his head, which now felt light and dizzy. "What was that?" Terry asked, rubbing his head. "What?" Todd replied. "I thought I heard something over there by the closet." Todd and Terry each had a small twin bed that faced the door to the room, which was now closed. Shadows hid in every corner as only a small nightlight glowed faintly in the darkness. Todd was closest to the closet door, which he always made sure remained closed. "Terry, stop it. You're scaring me." A few seconds passed, which seemed much longer to Todd as he attempted to quickly look out of the corner of his eye toward the closet while continuing to face straight ahead. "Did you hear that?" Terry asked. Todd didn't think he had heard anything, but couldn't fully convince himself of that and quickly jumped over into Terry's bed. "Shh, listen," Terry said quietly. Todd and Terry were now both sitting straight up in Terry's bed, the boys joined at the shoulders and listening carefully. "I don't hear anything," Todd said. "Go turn on the light and look," Terry joked. "No way, you do it." "All right, I'm going to go look because you're too scared, but you have to come with me," Terry demanded. "No way," Todd replied. "But I go with you all the time. You owe me. Now come on." Todd knew he had no argument for that, but his mind desperately searched for a way to avoid getting anywhere close to that closet. Nothing. "Okay, come on," Todd said, grabbing and then pushing Terry forward by the arm. The two boys slowly got out of bed and crept barefoot across the soft, carpeted floor, hearing faint voices of a baseball game coming from the living room television. Their eyes had now adjusted to the dark, and with the nightlight they were able to see pretty well. Maybe too well. Both boys paused halfway to the closet and listened. They now began moving as one, shoulders pressed together and holding onto each other's arm for support. Terry flinched. What did you hear?" Todd whispered. "I don't know, but it sounded like it was in the closet." The door to the closet looked large and menacing to the boys, the handle staring back at them like a large silver eye, an evil eye that only stared and never blinked. "Well, open it," Todd demanded. "All right, I'm going to do it slowly. Ready?" "Yes, just hurry up." "Okay. 1." Before Terry counted to 2, his arm shot out and ripped the door open with a strong, quick pull. Todd pushed Terry aside and leapt back across the room in 2 giant strides. "Why did you do that?" Todd gasped. "It's okay. Come back. I don't see anything in here." Terry wasn't sure why he had pulled the closet door open so quickly and violently. He hadn't done it to scare his brother because, honestly, he was scared himself. It was almost as if something, someone, some force... "Well, at least go inside and make sure nothing's in there," Todd said as he slowly moved back across the room toward the closet. "I don't want to go inside," are the words Terry's mind relayed to his voice. But instead, Todd heard, "All right, I'll go in and take a look." Those were the words that actually came out of Terry's mouth as he moved. No, as he was pushed inside the closet by some unseen force. Terry, his mind now foggy and hazy, reached up and pulled the string that turned on the light. The closet was small, with only a single bar running from one side to the other that was crowded with hanging clothes. There was also a small shelf above those clothes that housed old sweatshirts, sweatpants, and jeans. "We have to look behind the clothes together," Terry said with little emotion in his voice. "No way. I'm not going in there," Todd replied. "We need to look everywhere. You don't want to lay back down and wonder what could be hiding back there, do you?" Todd's eyes began to water at this thought, his imagination coming to life with glimpses of fangs, claws, and blood dancing around his head. "Come on, we'll pull back the clothes together and look," Terry calmly stated. Todd slowly joined his brother in the closet. The light from that single bulb brought rays that mixed, matched, and danced with the glowing nightlight in the otherwise dark room. "On 3, we'll pull back the clothes and look," Terry said. Okay, Todd had now closed his eyes and decided they would stay closed until 3, and probably a little longer. "Ready?" Terry asked. "Yeah," Todd lied, his body now starting to tremble. "Okay. 1. Terry slipped his hand over to the hanging string that controlled the one lone bulb, still seeing that Todd had his eyes squeezed tightly shut. 2. Terry, now holding the string tightly, began to slowly pull. 3. Todd quickly brushed the hanging clothes aside and opened his eyes to total darkness. "Terry!" Todd yelled as he quickly turned around looking for his brother. "Don't worry, I'm right here," Terry said as Todd felt his brother's body and then embraced him in a crushing hug. "Terry, I'm scared." Looking up in the almost total darkness, Todd saw 2 small circles, 2 small red circles in front of his face. These glowing, burning circles Todd now recognized as eyes stared right back at him and began to grow larger. When those blood-colored eyes blinked, Todd's legs weakened and a maddening terror rushed through his body. Todd attempted to pull back, but he was held tightly in place by someone, something, which now had his arms in a grip much too strong to be Terry's. A faintness quickly overtook Todd's body. Those eyes can't be real, Todd told himself as he began to fall forward, the thing in front of him now taking almost all of his weight. "No, they can't be real," Todd murmured as his mind slowly slipped away. Todd's own eyes, now becoming very heavy, began to close. Todd struggled to look up and saw those 2 glowing red eyes again, eyes with a look of crazed excitement, still staring directly at him. At that moment, Todd accepted that whoever, whatever was holding him was not Terry. It couldn't be. Todd's strength was now gone. His eyes fully closed, but somehow he could still see those piercing red circles. Then Todd drifted away, lost all consciousness, and never woke up again. The end.